What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Greenleaf Season 5, Episode 4, The Fourth Day. I remember the titles of these episodes because it's the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day. Anyway, so we start this episode off. They're down to the hospital. And I don't like this doctor. I ain't like this doctor the first time because I feel like she keep coming for Grace. I feel like I don't know what AJ done told her about Grace, but I feel like she be coming for Grace low key. But anyway, they're trying to figure out what is the best option for AJ. And of course, they want AJ to come home. Grace and Noah want AJ to come home. And the doctor is saying that maybe the best decision for him is to go to an inpatient therapy. And y'all know Grace ain't here for that. Grace want him to come home. She want him to come home with her. You know, she just ain't here for that. And so, so he wasn't in the room when they were having this conversation. So he came in the room, and of course they all looking at him, you know, and he was like, so what's going on? And so the doctor gives him the options and tell him, you know, what his options are as far as leaving the hospital. And he says he wants to go home with Noah. So, of course, Grace is sitting there looking, her feelings are hurt, face cracked, because of course, in Grace's mind, nobody can take care of him the way they can take care of him at the Greenleaf estate. It never occurred to her that he would want to go stay with Noah. Never occurred to her. And of course, Noah was shocked too. Noah was like, what? Me? Oh, well, all right then. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't expected either. Now, down to the Greenleaf estate, may not be the Greenleaf estate much longer, but down to the Greenleaf estate, Jacob finally comes clean. And of course, you know, Bishop and Lady Mae are giving it to him because they're like, why the hell did you tell us what was going on? Because now you have opened up a whole can of worms by going down there talking to Basie Skank's damn sister. Like, you, and he was like, well, I didn't tell her what was going on. She was like, but people are not stupid. Like, she's got to know that you sniffing around for a reason. Like, there's got to be something going on with that. So then she was like, well, where's all this coming from anyway? Like, why is this even a situation? So, of course, he told them about the divorce and everything. And Lady Mae was like, do what? So you mean to tell me in the house where Carissa is eating and lives here for free, that's what you got going on? She was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. So then she gonna tell Jacob to get out of there. She want Jacob to leave. She told Jacob, she said, I don't feed a dog. She said, I don't let a dog eat off my table that bites me or some shit. She said, child, you know, Lady Mae got away with words, child. And now Bishop has decided that he gonna go and talk to her. And Lady Mae is like, I don't think that's the best idea. And Bishop was like, but I feel like I could do this. Like, I feel like I could talk to her and we could come to like a, you know, some kumbaya or whatever. So then she was like, okay, well, what do you think about Sunday? He was like, well, what about Sunday? So they doing this whole, him having a forgetful memory again. He didn't remember that it's the last Sunday at Calvary, and you know that they want to have a whole they want to go to Calvary for that last Sunday? And Bishop was like, nope, hell no, I ain't trying. I'll never walk back up in there again, and I'm good. If I never go back there again, it's too soon. So she gonna do this, give him this whole speech about, you know, forgiveness and moving past it and being good with the Lord or something. And then she get ready to storm out the room. And he was like, where you going? She was like, to kill Clarissa. I said, now how you gonna? Okay. All right, cool. Because I mean, yeah, okay. Now down to Calvary, they're meeting about the last Sunday, and Judy said something about not having any music for that last Sunday, and oh, sorry, y'all. And Charity was like, okay, you do know how important music is to our people. Like, she wasn't saying like black people, she was saying people in the church, which mostly black people. And Judy was like, yes, okay. She said, well, I mean, like, seriously, like, some people won't come if the music ain't right. Like we really need to keep that. So then she made a suggestion about the song, and Judy was like, oh, I think that's great. That'll be perfect. We're going to play like the little commercial for the new campus, showing everybody what's going to be coming at the new campus. Now, Charity was like, well, I have prepared a PowerPoint, and I think that we should, you know, give homage to what was. Like, we're leaving, we're moving to a new office, we have a new name, like the old Calvary is gone. But, you know, I think that would be a perfect time to just sort of play like my little PowerPoint, you know, showing the history of Calvary. Judy was like, so what history is that? Like, the history where somebody got shot, where your daddy shot somebody in this church, the history where the FBI raided this church, the history where your uncle was touching little girls in this church, maybe even where we standing right now. So she was like, no, I like my idea better, and that's what we're gonna do. So then, of course, Charity looks at Phil, and Phil was like, yeah, I'm with her. You know, whatever Judy says goes. And this is the part I don't understand. How many different ways does he have to let you know that he really ain't in charge no more? That he took the title, but he basically has to acquiesce to whatever it is that Judy wants. Did him not breaking up with you right after he proposed marriage to you not show you that he is no longer in control and he's going to do whatever Bob wants him to do? Like, if any point in time that he was going to break away from Bob and stand up for himself and make a decision, that would have probably been it if he really did love you the way he said he loved you. But he didn't even love you enough to stand up to Bob for his own happiness. He damn sure ain't going to stand up to Bob now. He got the title. He got what he wanted. Like, it'd be different if Bob double-crossed him. Bob ain't double-crossed him. Bob gave him what he said he was going to give him. So, of course, it pissed her off. And guess who was standing there the whole time and watched the whole exchange? Grace. Now, Grace pissed me off because Grace went to go talk to Charity. And now she needs something from Charity. So now she can be nice to Charity, right? So she needs something from Charity now. They need information on Phil because something that Darius then found out. They trying to get in touch with Phil's family to make some connections to that insurance company that or financial company that the guy told them to look into, and come to find out Phil's mom works for that company. So they're trying to get some information, and somehow or another they think that they'll be able to find enough information to stop the demolition of the church. Now, maybe I missed something. I don't know what y'all think y'all gonna find that's powerful, that's gonna stop them demolition from coming in that short period of time. But I could be wrong. Maybe I missed something, because, you know, I be missing stuff. But and of course Charity ain't really trying to give it to her, because I mean, I'm sure Charity thinking like I'm thinking like, so now you can, now we can talk. Now you got something to say to me because you need something. And of course she threw it at Charity like, but you see the way that man just talked to you, like, you still defending him, you still looking out for him. And, you know, Charity just wasn't ready. Now at the end, she did finally give Grace the information that she needed. I think Grace got through to a certain extent, but there's a part of Charity that was still holding on. There was a part of her that was still keep holding on. Anyway, but she eventually did give them the name of Phil's dad. Come to find out, he was a Black Panther. He had to change his name. He went from, you know, Joe Johnson to Yusef Al-Haj Malik number X times 10 plus 2. I don't know. But, you know, so he lived down in Nolens. So then we had Lady Mae went and confronted Clarissa. And, you know, she was ready to put her ass out, honey. She came rolling up in there to put her out. And at first, Clarissa didn't want to tell her what was going on. Clarissa didn't want to tell her that they was getting a divorce, or didn't want to tell her why they was getting a divorce. And then finally, she was like, Mae, I had an affair. And Lady Mae was like, you did what? She was like, yeah, I had an affair, and he can't forgive me for the same thing I forgave him for 1,000,000 times. And then she started naming who Jacob had an affair with. Come to find out, Jacob had an affair with the woman that used to be a cook before Marisol. Now, y'all remember in the very, 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 very first episode of Greenleaf, one of the maids is, and I can't think of her name now, but the one who played Levita on Steve Harvey show. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all seen her, you know, whatever. But you only saw her in that one episode and never saw her again. I guess that's who they were talking about, child. And of course, Lady Mae was like, what? She was like, yes, I caught them in the laundry room. And Lady Mae was like, you gotta be kidding me. She was like, exactly. She was like, I don't want the divorce. And I never thought that Jacob, like, I thought eventually Jacob would be able to forgive me. Like, I was only using the will as leverage because I really didn't want the divorce. She was like, it was never my intention to truly use that will. And Lady Mae was like, okay, well, you did. You opened up that, you unleashed Pandora's box, whether you meant to or not. She was like, but yeah, let me go and talk to my son. Now the problem is this: the minute that came up, it became about Lady Mae and her transgressions, and not about what's going on between Jacob and Clarissa. Because true enough, Clarissa did forgive Jacob a million times for what Jacob did. But let's be clear, they weren't happy. Jacob wasn't happy. And I think for him, it's just he's ready for the divorce. And this was just as good of an excuse as any. So she went and confronted him and basically told him, you will forgive her. She's forgiving you. You are no better than her. She made a mistake. You made a mistake. She starts off by giving him a damn pop quiz on Bible verses. And just like Charity, Lord have mercy, he got the first two, but on the third one, he ain't know. And she was like, Lord, I should have known that you would know that verse. He was like, well, I guess you talked to Charity. I guess you talked to Clarissa. She was like, absolutely. And you was running around here sleeping with whoever the hell you wanted to sleep with, and you're going to forgive her. You're going to apologize. You're going to forgive her. And you and your wife are going to y'all going to work this out. You're not going to destroy your family over her. He was like, but you don't know what she did. Because in his mind, I guess the fact that she bought him chlamydia was way worse than what he bought her. But you bought her a baby. We just don't know that little girl is yours. And you know that little girl is yours. So you bought her a whole baby. She bought you something that she need penicillin for, but you bought her a whole baby. That's 18 years of penicillin. I'm just saying. So then we have Aaron basically telling them, listen, as far as any legal side of this, y'all are good legally. Like, legally, the house is yours free and clear. But in the court of public opinion, y'all gonna be guilty every time. Basie is gone, Mac is gone. There's really nobody here to say what happened or what didn't happen. It's gonna be their word, the words of dead people against yours, and it just don't look good. And so that's when he decided that he definitely was gonna go and talk to old girl. And Jacob was like, and so Jacob was gonna turn to Aaron and say, aren't you glad you aren't a part of this family? And of course, that's a little bit of a dagger, because guess what? He is. So, excuse me. So, Sophia, not Sophia. Nope. Grace actually called Phil's dad. And Phil's dad was not trying to have no conversation with her. He was like, who are you? You the police? She was like, no, I'm not the police. He was like, you work for the newspaper? You're a reporter? She was like, no, I'm not a reporter. He was like, she said, actually, up until recently, I was a pastor. He was like, strike one. She was like, oh, okay. Well, I was calling about your wife. He was like, ex-wife. Strike two. She said, well, she used to work for this such and such company. He was like, that was 20 years ago. What you want? What you want, woman? And she said, well, your son. He was like, oh, strike three. Bye. And hung up on her. So she right down there in Knowledge. You're going to have to get in the car and drive down there to go see him, honey. You're going to have to go fire Yusef, because Yusef wasn't trying to have no conversation with you about his son. Now Charity done told you him and his son ain't close. Charity done told you that Phil don't even like jazz because his daddy is from New Orleans. Damn. That's got to be some petty ass, I don't like you because you from New Orleans, so I don't like you. Now, Charity decided she was going to go to, what's the girl, the deaconess, you know who I'm talking about. The deaconess with the salt and pepper wig. She going to go to her to try to get her to agree with her about putting up the PowerPoint of the history of Calvary. And she told Charity under no uncertain terms, nope, like, I think that's a horrible damn idea. I'm with Phil and Judy on this one. We don't need to, no. And again, Charity, what made you think, like, this is the same woman that sold out the church? She's the one that went to A&H or H&H or A, B, C, D, E, F, G. She went to them to begin with. What made you think she had any sentimental feelings about fucking Calvary? Like, she couldn't run your parents out of there fast enough. Like, I don't understand what. Once again, Charity, you're not as smart as you think you are. So, Greenleaf, Bishop goes down to see old girl down on Skid Row. And of course, she was looking at him like, well, damn, once again, this the second time I done got a visit from a Greenleaf in a week. Like, and my thing is, once again, she has to know that it's something going on. She has to know it's more to it than, of course, great Bishop tried to come in there. He told her about the house and everything and said, listen, I didn't call your father. I didn't have anything to do with it. And, I really want us to get past this. I really want our families to heal and move beyond this. But she has to know it's more to it. After all of these years, I never heard from you. You never reached out to me, even though we in ministry together. We both out here worshiping the same God. Like, you ain't never reached out to me. You ain't never tried to help my church out. You ain't never tried to do nothing. Now, all of a sudden, I done got 2 visits in 1 week by the same child. I'd have been sitting there like my ears would have been on high alert. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. But, Bishop said that they prayed, they cried, they damn near was talking in tongues, and they agreed to forgive and forget and move on. I was like, that's a lie. That is a lie from the depths of hell. That is not how this is getting ready to go. I hate to be the one to tell you, Bishop, but that is not how this is getting ready to go. Now, Noah and AJ come to the house so that AJ can pick up his stuff, and Grace just can't help herself. She got the name of a doctor. And she's telling Noah, you need to get him to see this doctor. And AJ was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I'm not staying here, because I told you I didn't want to talk about this anymore, and you just can't stop talking about it. And she's still steadily talking to Noah like, well, he's not asymptomatic. He needs to get on the regimen. You got to talk to him. And Noah was like, I got it. So back down to Calvary, Judy come up in Charity's office, and she's like, did you go to Connie Skanks, whatever the woman name is? Did you go to Connie about showing that damn PowerPoint? And Charity was like, I did, but she said no. She said, yeah, but see, the problem is we cannot have you running behind here, second guessing everything we do. When we make a decision, that's what it is. And we just can't trust that. So you're fired. Bitch, you could have blown Charity over with a feather. She said, you can't do that. She said, why? Because I'm not the pastor? She said, but I'm Bob's daughter. And I'm the soon-to-be first lady. She said, let's be clear. The only person around here that has more power than me is God. So yeah, you're fired. So Charity went to Phil, and Phil told my Judy just fired me. Phil was like, yeah, she told me. And Charity decides to go off on him, and she was like, if y'all even make it past Tuesday, I will sue you. Have you heard of her, MeToo.com? Because, of course, they were sleeping together, child. And then she was like, and she said, this church won't even last without a Greenleaf here. And then she really laid into Phil and talked about, basically, she emasculated him. Now, I will say that, Cherry, you gave it to him. She told him he wasn't a real man, and that he is not the man that she thought he was. And the fact that he would just acquiesce to this woman the way he is and just bend over and let this woman do her like that or do him like that. She said, you are not the man I thought you were. You are not the man that I fell in love with. I don't even want your ass. Like, basically, that's what she said. But Charity, let me say this to you. Okay, first of all, there is no job in America where you can go behind your supervisor's back and there not be a consequence. Like, you damn near cuss that woman out every chance you got. You talked to her like shit. You treated her like shit. You basically made her fire you. Because let me be clear. I don't care how I got here. I don't care what you and Phil had before I got here. At the end of the day, he is engaged to be married to me. I'm about to be his wife, and what you're not going to do is disrespect me. Like, you don't have to like it, Charity, but you made that decision when you decided to keep that job knowing the situation, then you accepted it. So you can't get mad at Phil for playing his position, because he already told you what team he was on. When he broke up with you to stay with her to get that job, he already told you how he was rolling. So you can't get mad at him, and you can't expect him to do anything different. Like, You might have laid it on him and it might have been good and he might have enjoyed it. But clearly it wasn't enough for him to give up the job. So I don't know what you thought was going to happen. Like, you getting fired, you should have seen that coming. I did. I was just wondering how long it was going to take, but I saw you getting fired. I'm actually surprised it took as long as it did. But anyway. So Bishop comes home. He done bought barbecue for the family. He's in a great mood because in his mind, he has fixed this, and that whole cloud that's been hanging over his head for the last 50 years about the fire and the house and all of that, he thinks it's gone, it's dead, it's over. And so he is ready to rock and roll with the family. And like I said, he on his way up to the church. To the house. He runs into Gigi walking along. You know, she going for a walk in her heels. I guess that's what skinny people do in heels. They just walk like that. And he basically told, he gave her a couple of words of wisdom because, of course, she's feeling some kind of way about the whole situation with AJ, because, again, she wants him to stay there, And she's blaming herself for the life that he's ended up with because she wasn't the mother that she thought she should have been, whatever, child. So then we see Jacob go to Clarissa, and Clarissa was like, so you talk to your mother. Okay, so go ahead and say it. Like, let's go on and forgive me so we can move on. And she says, and he can't say it, right? So she was like, well, let me help you. Say, I'm sorry that I wasn't the husband that you needed me to be, that you felt like, you needed to go out and have an affair. I'm sorry that you had to forgive me for all those times. Like, she was like, and of course, she ain't do nothing wrong. Everything was his fault. And honey, he couldn't say it. Like, he sat there and he couldn't say it. And she was like, you really can't forgive me. Like, you really can't forgive me. She was like, okay, fine. And don't worry about the will, because now that Lady Mae knows about the will, now that Lady Mae knows that, this divorce ain't my fault, she knows what really went on, I know she's going to make sure that I'm good. So don't even worry about the will. But once again, the Pandora box has been opened. Like, you did it, child. So then the cousins, AJ, Sophia, and Zora, they don't want him to leave, and they're joking with him, and he's actually laughing, like a genuine laugh. Like him, and it was a good moment to see them. Gigi comes to say goodbye, and Lord, she couldn't just say, have a good time with your father. I hope you and your dad have an opportunity to get to know each other. Like, she just couldn't say nothing. But and she's still telling him that he need to go see a doctor. Child, he know he need to go see a doctor. Now, down to Phil's house, he feeling some kind of way about, the situation with Charity. And she was like, she was like, well, Judy was like, well, she left me no choice. Don't worry about it. We'll be fine without her. He was like, I'm not sure about that. And she was like, no, like, we're good. Like, we'll be okay. He was like, no, something she said to me. And he brought up the fact that she said after Tuesday, da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, Judy was like, well, what does that mean? And he was like, I don't know, but I feel like they up to something. Like, I feel like there's a plan in place. And I said, damn, Charity, once again, your ass done said too much. But anyway, Judy decided that she wanted to try to relax him and try to, she got on her knees and was going to give him something he could feel. And he told her no. And she was like, when are you going to, like, so that, she was like, well, how long are you going to play this game? Like, when are we going to get back to the way things were? So that lets you know that up until that point, they still haven't been having sex. Like, yeah, they living together again and they back together and engaged, but he ain't been with her like that. And she was like, so like, come on, let me get a little something. He was like, I said no. And honey, she was in her little feelings and she stomped upstairs with her little glass of wine. I said, she gonna go call daddy, child. So they get ready to have dinner. Bishop got the, the barbecue and everything. And Lady Mae has a conversation with Jacob. And Jacob tells her, he said, Ma, I just can't do it. Like, I can't. I'm sorry. I know that's what you want from me, but I can't. I can't. And Lady Mae was like, child, whatever. All right, whatever. Fine then. Child, fine. The girls come down. Clarissa ends up coming down. Charity comes up in the door talking about she quit. Because she told Jacob, you can't fire me because I quit. It don't, like, people who do that always crack me up. It don't work. Like, you already fired. But if it make you feel better to say you quit, sure. But let's be clear. Whether you said those 2 words or not, you were still leaving up out of here tonight. Anyway, so she came in there talking about something. She just couldn't take it anymore and she quit. So, of course, the family feels like she finally came to her senses and she coming back around when that is not what it was. Because, of course, Lady Mae was so happy to hear child. But that is not what it was. Anyway, Bishop ended up getting a phone call and it is old girl, Basie Skank's sister. And she said that she been praying and thinking and she didn't say she had to change her heart, but she said she needed to talk to Bishop as soon as possible. So I guess Bishop is going to be on his way to go have a conversation with her, honey. And there it is. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.